Survivor Specialist Phil and Alexa are back with our third and not quite yet final 3 out of 4 of our preseason videos. Number 4 coming up next Monday with Intern. Going to be talking about the fantasy game. Going to have Intern get smoked yet again because the guy can't pick a team to save his life. But today we're going to be talking about our Bootlist game. And we are going to be breaking that down. The simplest one to win if you cheat. Just going to throw that out there right off the top. If you cheat, you will definitely have the best boot list, and you will also not win a buff because it's not very hard to pick out who the cheaters are when about 25 of you all have the same boot list, and then you go on Reddit after the season and that boot list is all over it. So do not cheat. That is the big one on this. Don't take the fun out of it. Let's keep it fun. Let's keep it enjoyable. Don't be going in there posting stupid spoilers. Although if Adam Klein posts his boot list, it's probably going to be a spoiler one because he's just so damn right all the time.
Yeah, his is like the opposite of a spoiler because it's unintentional. But we've both been doing this for a while. We can tell usually like halfway through the pre-merge if you've cheated. And we've marked the people who've cheated in the past. So just make it easy. The prop bet currently has a little over, like I think we're at like 130 submissions on the prop bet. The boot list, I feel like usually gets a few more, but pretty good odds. So give it a shot. You could win a buff. Like, don't cheat.
Yeah, and if we somehow, and I'm going to throw this out there, Alexa, I know I didn't talk to you at all, but it's never going to happen because we have a week. But if we somehow can get, so we always say that if you do this, you have to be a subscriber. So if we somehow get to 10,000 subscribers, like by October 1st, I am more than willing to make this a 2 buff thing.
I like
but
that.
we have to get to 10,000 because we've been at like 9,400 this whole time. 600 more shouldn't be that difficult to get. But if somebody wants to hurry up and make sure that happens, we're not going to be opposed. So even if you want to just go make 900 fake accounts and say that you're overseas, that's fine with us. We don't care. But this one is simple. The prop bet's a little bit more complex. If you haven't entered the prop bet, by the way, go back and enter the prop bet. It's a little bit more complex. This one, not quite as crazy. The way it works is you just rank them 18-1. What place do you think they're going to finish? Check your work. Check your work. Because if you put somebody twice, we can't do anything with that. Your boot list is now useless to us. Don't put anybody twice. Make sure you go down the line. Make sure you figure that out. And that's it. That's literally the only rule. And don't cheat. And you'll get a buff if you have the lowest score. So, yeah, I guess I should say that. The way it works is if you put somebody in 18th and they finish 18th, you get 0 points. If you put somebody in 18th and they get first, you get 17 points. Lowest score wins. So you want to be as close to perfect as possible. Lowest score wins. 0 is best. 17 is worst for a person. So
lowest score on the boot list, highest score on the prop bet. That's what you want to see.
That's it. That's it.
An intern makes a fun little. He makes a fun little like formula so that we can figure it out and do some weekly rankings. I post those in our Facebook group every like Thursday or Friday or Saturday. So if you want a chance to look at the rankings throughout the season, become at the very least a $1 patron. So you can join our Facebook group and check it out.
Yes, and $20 patrons will actually get to play along. So that'll be our third and final of these games. And the Power Rankings one is a fun one because we're going to be having guests throughout the season who are survivors. And we actually already have our first one planned for September 26th at 11 o'clock a.m. So be there or be square. And it's a.m. Eastern time for any of you who weren't sure about that. So now you know.
West Coast.
All right, let's do this. This is Survivor Season 41. I'm going to go against every single thing I said in everything I've done over the last couple of months because I can't remember what I say. I just say nonsense to say it. So who should start off, Alexa, you or me?
Why don't you start off? Because what's really fun about this week is we're kind of throwing it back to what we did last week where I am prepared and Phil is coming in hot. Has not written down a boot list. So I
got it.
Not that I would influence you whatsoever, but I would love to hear yours on the fly and then base mine afterwards.
Yeah, it's crazy because like I have to be honest, I haven't had a full-time job since 2018, I think it was.
Wow.
Because I was just doing freelance and I was going to grad school and I was doing all that stuff. So now having a full-time job again has just thrown me into this like I cannot function. I can't organize myself.
It's like, oh crap, I have to like do stuff during the day.
I have to do stuff during the day. It's total BS. I don't know why I work, but that has prevented me from doing as much as I would like to be doing. All of that being said, who do I think is going to be the first boot on this season? So this is always tricky, especially when like there's nobody that I really dislike. So how I try to break this down for the first boot isn't necessarily who's going to be the first boot, which by the way, most people get the first boot right, especially the people who submit their boot list about 2 or 3 days before the premiere, because by that point, it's pretty much been spoiled. Just saying. So this is one where people try to get it right. But with this, it's about mitigating that damage. And so when I do like my first 3 or 4 people out, I look at, I'm going with the Vaughn thing here of low floor and a low ceiling. Like this person is not going to win Survivor. If they won, I would be absolutely floored. It'd be like Tony Vlachos or Sophie winning, who I think were 2 of the biggest people or biggest surprises in terms of when they won, because everybody thought Sophie was going to be a total brat and everybody thought Tony was going to be a total tool. And neither one of those things came true. I guess Tony's a tool, but he's a tool. Yeah. Tony's a hammer though. He's useful and we like him. So
he's useful and he's loud and his presence takes up a lot of space.
Yes. So but everybody thought he was just going to be Russell Hantz, and he wasn't Russell Hantz. He was a lot more than Russell Hantz, and he ended up winning the game. And so when I look at people who I don't necessarily see winning Survivor on this season, if I'm just breaking it down that way, the easiest place for me to start is with Jeannie. So I'm going to put Jeannie at 18 because I think as soon as Ua loses, I think Jeannie is toast. I think she is the first boot. I don't think she knows Survivor very well. And I don't think that she's going to fit in with the rest of this tribe that is a little bit younger with the exception of Brad and is a really like, I don't know, it's just different. I don't see Jeannie hitting this Elaine level that the producers probably put her on the show for. So I have Jeannie as the first boot of this season.
Yeah, I get that. And I'm with you on like, I hate like the beginning because I can't dislike anyone on this cast, but I hate being like, well, this person's going to be the first boot based on this one video I watched. Sort of in a similar vein of we know that I think we know that there aren't really going to be many, if any, tribe swaps. So I actually somewhat did take into account what these tribes look like and how I think that they'll perform. I think which tribe is this? Please hold. The Luvu tribe. I don't see this tribe meshing, and Phil, you had actually kind of broken this tribe down and thought, like these 6 people in general don't really mesh. Who within these 6 is really going to mesh? Unfortunately, because she is a massive, massive, massive super fan, I actually have Erica going out first because I think upsettingly, and this isn't right, but a lot of times people will vote out the woman first when they lose a challenge. I think Erica is also a mega fan, and I think people may sniff that out and vote that out, and or she may overplay her hand in that situation. And I really don't know off the top of my head who within the first, I don't even know if it's 3 days, maybe 2 days with the way that this season's broken out, who she's immediately going to connect with. I hope I'm wrong, but I have Erica.
Where is Erica from?
The great country of Canada.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. So John Millsip was already talking.
Is it because she's Canadian? I've been to Canada once and I really liked it. It has nothing to do with my opinions on Canada.
It's funny because John was talking crap earlier. Can't wait until Phil loses the boot list because he puts the Canadians too early.
You're gonna put all the Canadians in the. I have Canadians going farther.
Well, you're running out of Canadians because you just used one of. Isn't there only 2 on this season?
I thought there were 3, but I have at least 1 Canadian.
Well, we'll have John tell us if there's more. So I'm just writing down all of the names so that I can keep track. All right, I am going to say for a second. I'm going to go to that tribe, and I'm going to say, John, I am sorry, but it's not me who's going to be the one that you're going to pick on tonight. I'm going to say Heather is getting 17.
Oh, but I love Heather.
Oh, but I love everyone. Heather's getting 17.
Not helpful.
I think Heather, I think the problem with Heather is that she is the oldest woman on this season, and she's on a tribe that I've said numerous times, I think that the guys are going to branch off together, and I think they're probably going to end up bringing Sydney in with them. So I don't see Heather's ceiling being very high here. I
have a very different placement for Heather. I I like felt similarly about her. I think also, and this is kind of like me going back a bit on like what I said about Erica, but I think like everyone knows this is a whole new type of survivor. It's gonna be a whole new situation that I think and hope that this person is older, this person is this, like won't be as much of a factor with voting people out. However, in the pre-merge, I feel like generally that is the way things go. I like Heather because Heather seems like she can kind of be a bro, and I relate to that, but I get where your head's at with that. I have a very different placement for Heather. My I'm gonna do my 17 and 16 together because they're on the same tribe. I have Eric going out at 17th, and then I have David immediately going out 16th. I think all of this is sort of a result of David. I think David is going to be awesome, but I think he is going to really come in very hot and probably like perhaps see this is what I'm creating in my head. See Eric as a natural like leader of the tribe, want him gone, will successfully get him gone, and then they will turn around and lose again, and David will get voted out because he is way overplaying his hand.
Yeah, David's a tricky one for me. I think I'm going to end up putting him like I don't know, somewhere in the middle because I really don't know what else to do with him. But I don't see David necessarily winning. I'm surprised you put Eric that low because I look at that tribe and like I feel like Eric's going to be pretty strong. What do we not liking here about Eric?
Nothing to do with not liking him. I think he and Tiffany, they're the quote unquote older people on this tribe. I think Eric might be the oldest person on the season. And then I think I have him, he's on the same tribe as Xander. I think, with what we've seen with Evie's preseason content, I don't imagine she is going to immediately jump to work with any of the three guys. So I don't really know who he's going to immediately work with. I don't see, I think David is too much of a wild card, and I think Evie wouldn't go to work with him.
Yeah, I get it. It's funny. I just looked at my thing and I actually wrote Elaine as the first person voted out. That's how bad this is. It's Jeannie. But yeah, I get it. I mean, it's tough. It's tough because like this is only an 18-person cast.
I know.
So
yeah,
it moves a little bit faster. And when you start looking at this, it's like, okay, like I have a hard time with these, like which guy gets voted out early. So when you said David and Eric, I'm like, oh, why do you have them? But then at the same time, it's like, well, which guy do I think is going to go early then? Because there's always going to be a guy, unless it's Money versus Gen X, and even then Paul went early. Who's going to be that guy who doesn't make it very, very far? Like who's going to be that person? And I'm struggling with that one right now. And I actually think, and I don't want to put him this low, and I feel like I'm kind of like branching and putting a lot of the women at the bottom, but I am going to put Evie at 16. And then I'm going to start knocking guys out of this game. But I'm going to put Evie at 16 because I think David is just going to come out and try to be the villain. And I actually think that's going to work for him a little bit early on. And who's he going to butt heads with the most? I think it's probably going to be Evie. And then it's going to be a matter of, well, they want to keep Evie or they want to keep David. And I'm kind of thinking that they might keep David in this situation if they're the first tribe to lose. So I have David surviving a little bit, but I have Evie going out here in 16. Evie is somebody who could go maybe to, I don't know, 8th, 7th, 6th, but I don't really necessarily see Evie ever winning Survivor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think whatever amount of time we get with Evie is going to be super entertaining and a lot of fun. What did you just say? Was that your 17 or your 16?
That was my 16. I went Jeannie, Heather, Evie.
Okay, gotcha. Awesome. So this is where we're going to overlap a little bit. My 15 is where I picked Jeannie as well. I think that's my first person going home of that tribe, kind of for similar reasons as you. I mean, I have no idea what this first challenge is going to be, so I really can't like speak to which tribe I think will be like the hot mess in terms of challenges. So I have Jeannie going out in 15th, but probably somewhere in a similar location as you.
No, that makes sense. I'm gonna go Deshawn at 15th. And I know I've been really actually kind of high on Deshawn, but out of the men, I think Eric and David have a pretty good chance of going out early. I think Nasir and Danny could definitely go out early. But I just, for some reason, there's something about Deshaun that I feel like maybe isn't going to work with this Luvu tribe. Or if it does, he might actually end up being like a really good player or a really likable. And there's all so many reasons to go here. But I think that he's kind of getting that like 12th place, 11th place, 13th place kind of thing right around the merge. But I'm going to put him at 15 just because I don't feel like his ceiling is as high as a lot of the others.
I've been pretty low on Deshaun, and I don't know if he listens to us or not. I'm very sorry. I hope you prove me wrong. I have Deshaun at my 14. He's actually right next up for me. I haven't loved what I've seen in his pregame press. I see a lot of just like it feels very ripe for overplaying, and I hope that I'm wrong. I know he's a new fan, and I've been saying that I want people who aren't major super fans who don't completely analyze the game. So again, I hope he proves me wrong, but I have Deshaun going out kind of right before the merge. Are we saying I have like 11? I have like 13 and 11 being merged.
I think it's going to be 12.
Oh, well, okay.
I think it is.
That lines up well.
I think it's going to be 12. And then I go Eric at 14. So not much higher than you had him, mainly because I think Eric's ceiling is 9th place. I think that's the best he's going to do. I think that he's going to be useful during the tribe stage, but I think that there's like, I don't see him being the winner of this season. I don't see him being second. I don't see him being third. I don't see him being like the David Wright boot. I see him further down this line. And so I put him all the way back at 14 because I think it's going to be like 14 to 10, 14 to 9. Like I really don't see him going any higher than 9.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with that. I could see him being, I forget where you put him on prop bet, but he's somebody who would have been like a hard like jury.
Oh, yeah, I can't remember yesterday, let alone prop bet.
Okay, 13 is where I then put in Evie. I do think Evie lasts a bit. Again, I think they're going to be really fun, but the way that this tribe breaks up, and at this point, this tribe has 4 to 3 people on it. I think they're sort of going to be the tribe that gets decimated pretty quickly.
Yeah, this is where I finally put my first Canadian, which I'm putting Erica. I think Erica goes here. It's funny because I actually think this Luvu tribe has a lot of potential, but I have 3 of their 6 people going out in this first 6 people. So it's funny that I'm doing that, but I actually don't think that this is necessarily a doomed tribe. I just think that this is kind of like maybe your Calabow tribe or like your beauty tribe, where once they start going, they just don't stop going. And then that becomes a problem. So that's who I have there. I have Erica at number 13.
Okay. We have a fairly similar-ish pre-merge.
Ish. I mean, we have, let's see, we have 1, 2, 3. We have 4 people the same 5 people the same. The only one that's different is I have Heather and you have David.
Yeah. Interesting. We did not speak before this. Also, Phil's literally doing this on the fly.
I'm literally doing it live.
So my merge boot, assuming we merge at 12, I have Sydney going out at the merge. I think I get Evie vibes from Sydney only in the sense of we're going to love whatever we're going to get from her. But I think she's going to command a lot of the pre-merge. I think from a confessional perspective, I think from a strategy perspective, I think I see the merge catching up to her, and either whoever who is working with her, whether or not they wanted to, they then go into the merge and they say, we've got to get rid of Sydney. She's too good. She's too athletic. She's too much. I got Sydney going out at the merge.
Yeah, she's become more it's funny because that's become more of what the merge boot is. People might say, oh, I'm going to get rid of the strong guy at the merge, but it really has become kind of the woman. And I have Sydney at the same spot. It's funny because I'd already typed it in. So Alexa, I have Sydney there. I think that's just like what her like, could she go pre-merge and be like Figgy? Yeah. Could she go to final 6? Yeah. I don't think she's our winner. So I put her here because if she goes out at 15, I get 3 points. If she goes out at 9, I get 3 points. It's hard for me to see around that. where she's going to continue to move through, because I feel like if she does get far, I don't think Sydney's going to be somebody who comes out and plays reserved or back or whatever it is. I just don't see it happening. I feel like she's going to be in your face, and that's going to make her a threat, but I don't think she's going to be unlikable enough to be a GOAT to drag to the end.
Totally. Yeah. I think people are really going to like her, and I think that'll be part of why they get rid of her.
All right. So we're down to our final 11. We're saying that like we're into the merge now. We're rolling a little bit. Who you got?
Final 11. This was also like, I wasn't sure if this was a merge boot or not. This is sort of following what tends to happen after the merge boot. I'm getting rid of Danny. I actually think Danny's going to be a great team player. I think he's going to do fantastic throughout the pre-merge part of the game. I think his likability will catch up to him. I think he's going to, whether or not he's good at individual immunity challenges, just the way his body looks, people are going to assume he is going to win a lot of individual immunity challenges, even though they're really not tailored to football players. I have Danny going at 11.
Yeah, I have Xander going at 11. I think Xander is going to be a kind of low-key villain here. I think there's the potential that he could be a low-key villain. And he's another one, though. Like, he's ripped. He looks good. And that's something that could just get him going out right around this point. I look at that tribe, and that's just a weird vibe tribe, man. Yeah. It's a weird vibe tribe. That's all I can say about that. I don't know. I got him at 11, though. I think that in the early game, this is what's tended to happen in the later seasons. The women will go out early, the women will gain their footing, and then a man will win the game. And I feel like that's what's going to happen on this season. Maybe a woman wins, but I have a lot of women. I have 5 already out, and then the men start going. And then it's about, okay, now how do you get to a final 3 where 2 of the 3 are women and one of them is in the position to win? But this is around that time where the men start kind of getting, we have the merge, which, it seems like, okay, it's going to be whatever random person. It's going to Haley Ford. And then after that, it starts to be, okay, here's who I'm scared of. Mm-hmm. And then it kind of mellows out a little bit. So I have Xander going out here at number 11.
Yeah, I think that's a good choice. My next, I think 3 to 4 contestants are a lot of the likable, good at immunity challenges, like very inoffensive, people who everyone just tries to get rid of because they're afraid they're going to win.
Yeah.
So with that, my number 10 is our dear friend from Wyoming, Brad Reese. I know. I really like Brad. I think I also had him kind of in the pre-merge. He is someone I do not see winning. So I think this is kind of where his upside is, like mid-merge.
Yeah, this is where I have David. But I agree with you. Like, Brad seems like he fits here because we've never seen a Brad win. But this is where I have David because I think David's a villain who maybe gets to the War Dog 8th place. Mm-hmm. But villains also sometimes get screwed when it's like, hey, we got to flip this game on its head. And who can we take out? Let's take out David. Boom. That's who we go for. So that's why I have him here. But I agree. My Brad is coming up in terms of where I'm thinking he's going to end up going out.
Yeah.
Let me get ahead of you here because you were supposed to be following me. But I have Danny in my next spot since that was
similar.
Yeah. And my reasoning for this is exactly, I think if you averaged out how famous people did on Survivor, this is probably the exact spot they would be. Mm-hmm. Steve Wright, Grant Matos, they're famous, but football players, Alan Ball, Cliff Robinson, Gary Hogaboom, Elizabeth. You just start going down this line. When you get athletes who are professional athletes, this is the average spot. It's got to be around 9. So that's why I have Danny going out here.
They really are kind of the average is pretty standard for them. It's
pretty standard because you'll get every now and then a really good one. I mean, you got to think Taj wasn't an athlete, but she was a singer who was famous enough and was married to an athlete. She makes it far. Yeah. You start bringing in famous people. Lisa Welchel made it all the way to the end of the game. There's these people don't do as bad as you would think. Mike White made it all the way to the end of the game.
Yeah. Great.
It happens.
Number 9, I have Sarah. I had Sarah really, really close to the top for a bit. I had her pre-merge. I really wasn't sure where to put her. So I put her aptly at number 9 out of 18. But I think she's another one where I think she's going to be, I think everyone's going to like her. I think everyone's going to enjoy working with her. I think she could get like the stray bullet vote, or she could get the like, don't hit the number 1, don't hit the number 2, hit the number 3 kind of vote. I see Sarah sitting on the jury.
Yeah. This is where I have Brad. So like I said, this is where I think the men start going, and I have 4 of them in a row after Sydney goes. Xander, David, Danny, Brad. I have Brad going out here. I don't see him getting much further. 5th place is about the best I see him getting. 9th, 10th, 11th. From that, it's in that range. I think he's going to be one of those people who it's going to be like Tyson round 1, where we love every second we get of him on screen, but we're not going to get nearly as much time as people seem to remember. Tyson's not in Tocantins as much as people think Tyson was in Tocantins.
It's like the Courtney thing too.
Yeah, Courtney's barely in that.
Yeah.
But we don't talk about that because Courtney is a god. So
because we love Courtney.
Yeah.
What number are you on?
Let me check. I am on 8. You just did your 9.
All right. Do you want to keep leading?
I'm ahead of you by 1.
Oh, okay. My number 8 is Xander. So now we're kind of just trading people. I mean, this is all just like based on assumptions. I think Xander, I'm really only looking at from like the athleticism standpoint, and not so much from how I think he'll do strategically, because I really can't figure that out. I know he's really young and he looks like he's really in shape. And I think also similarly, people who are that young, this is kind of where they go out to. This is like Julia, the Michael, like not going to win. Yeah, Carter. Yeah, Julia, Michael, and Carter.
I love just throwing in Carter's name whenever I get the chance.
How old is he?
He wasn't even that young. I just wanted to say Carter.
Yeah, he needs to get mentioned.
He needs more love. All right, who do I have next? It's a great
Final
question.
7.
Final 7. Who do I want to boot at final 7? Who's getting kicked? All right, so what am I down to? So my final 7, I have Nasir.
We have
Liana,
a very similar.
I have Nasir, Liana, Tiffany. That's 3. And then I have Jairus, Ricard, Chantel, and Sarah. So those are my 7. 4 of them from the UA tribe. And I think 5 of the 7 have all interacted with us in some way, which might be giving them preferential treatment.
That might be it. I want everyone to know this, Phil and I did not speak. We have, in our final 7, we have 1 person who is switched. We have 6 matching people.
Do we really?
We do.
That's really ridiculous.
I was like, oh gosh, we never do this.
No, that's really ridiculous. And we haven't spoken. This is probably the least we've actually spoken to each other about this. But it's funny because when we did all the preseason content for our patrons, Survivor Specialist our patreon.com/Survivor Specialist, when we did all of our preseason content, it was a big thing for us to not talk to each other about it. I never listened to Alexa's, and I know damn well Alexa didn't listen to mine. So it's funny that we're this similar, even though we've pretty much discussed these people not at all.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
It is.
We don't look at spoilers. There's 1 person who's interacted with us that I know of. So I didn't really base this off of that. I based 1 person.
Well, my number 7, I have Nasir. I think Nasir, they're just not going to get deeper than that. And my other thing with Nasir is if he does get booted early, I still think he'll get a little bit of time. I don't think he's going to be the first boot, second boot, third boot. I think it'll be a little bit later than that. So at this spot, the worst I do is pick up 8 points. I think I'll do better than that, though.
I go Liana at 7. I also had Liana, I think, lasting 1+ hour in a challenge. Looks like Adrienne Celeste. We have the exact same pick. I think she's going to be really great in challenges. And I think, number 7 is sort of like a weird place to get voted out. I don't think there's anything like particularly offensive about her. So I don't think people will be like gunning for her because there's a problem, but rather they think she could be a threat to win.
Yeah. So who is JD? I see this popping up in the side.
JD is Jairus.
He goes by JD?
I think so, which we should probably start doing because it's pretty 50-50 on if we're pronouncing his name correct.
Well, yeah, that would have been amazing to know like 3 months ago. So I didn't call him everything under the sun except his real name. All right. Well, that's not who I have, but I like the Liana at 7. I've been a big fan of Liana, as I've said. So I have knocked out the whole Luvu tribe. So that's my decimated tribe. They're already toast. I have no more space for them. They're gone. I still got 4 UAs left. And I'm going to put Chantel here. So, John, I just want you to know I just put Chantel at number 6.
Chantel is also my number 6. She is the sadly under-edited first boot of the finale.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I think Chantel, the reason why I ended up putting her higher, and I know I've been saying the whole time Canadians aren't going to make the merge, but the reason why I ended up putting Chantel higher is because she has a very high ceiling. Like Chantel could win Survivor. I don't necessarily think this is the right cast for her to win Survivor, but she absolutely 100% could win Survivor, and that's a big thing.
I just think like what she has in terms of like her life experience, she's got good, she's got bad, she's got funny, she's got pastor. Like she can really relate to pretty much everyone, which I think creates a really high ceiling for her.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so we both had her at 6. I'll do my 5. I am going to go Ricard at 5.
Okay.
Just missing getting to like final fire making. I think Ricard's got a high floor, which is good. I think that's a good spot for her. Or him, sorry. I'm reading the comments as I'm saying this, and I saw her. So, but I think that's a good spot for Ricard because I see Ricard almost making the merge every single time he plays Survivor. But I also saw Brendan Shapiro making the merge every single time he played Survivor. So who knows? But I think that Ricard makes the merge every time. And if you put him smack at 6, I got 6 points at most. So that's where I got Ricard.
I'm very sorry. I have JD at number 5. I can't pick him to win. I think I did that already, and it wouldn't be right. So I have JD going at number 5.
But he spent time listening to you speak.
I know, which anybody should win Survivor.
They should. That's how you win. It's not because we give them good advice. It's because they can put up with our obnoxiousness.
There we go. Yeah, I have JD at 5. I mean, no, with our luck, he's going to be the second boot. But, a girl can dream.
As it happens, right? All right, so here's my final. I got to make sure I have my final 4 right because, I haven't really paid attention worth crap. I got Jairus. I got Sarah. I have Liana, and I have Tiffany. So I got 3 out of the 4 are women. Look, see, I said the women would get to the end. I said that was going to happen, but will one of them actually end up winning? I'll start with Liana. I don't think it's Liana, so I put Liana at 4. I love Liana. I've been very high on Liana. I love Liana's background. I love her story. I think she's going to be great. I also think that she is going to – I think her floor is like up here. I think she's going to do really, really well. Unfortunately, I think she has a high floor and a low ceiling. That's Vaughn's favorite spot. That means easy.
He loves floors and ceilings.
He loves floors and ceilings, and that's where I'm putting her. So I'm putting her at 4 because I think she could get 3rd, 2nd, whatever. I actually don't think people are going to let her get to the final 3. So I think she's going to finish between like 4th and 6th. So I probably should have put her at 5 and played the odds, but I'm going to put her at 4.
That was Tiffany, right?
No. This is Liana.
Liana? Okay. Well, Tiffany is my number 4. I have our first since Becky and Sandra woman versus woman fire making.
Love it.
Of Tiffany versus Heather. And Heather is going to win because she has experience making fire before.
I love it.
Yes.
I had I'll do it too. I had Liana, then fine. I have women versus women. I had Liana losing to Sarah. Obviously, the woman who does dancing out in Sherman Oaks making fires. Maybe shouldn't be putting that rumor out there that she's starting fires in California.
I was about to make a horrible joke.
Yeah, I shouldn't be doing that in California. Sarah's my 3rd place. I don't I'm not really basing this on this is exactly where I think they're going to finish. I just think that Sarah is going to go pretty high. She could go out early, but I think there's more to Sarah that's going to keep her around a little bit longer. And I think she can kind of, wiggle her way through for a little while. So I have Sarah at number 3.
I like that. So Tiffany wins the final 4 fire making. She
lost.
Oh, excuse me. Heather wins the final 4 fire making. She is so excited. She walks into final tribal council, and despite how amazing her pitch is, she loses to Ricard, who sneaks his way in. He is very unassuming, even though when the cast was dropped, we were like, oh my God, Ricard, he's like the TikTok guy. Like he's going to be the guy. He then loses to Nasir, who sneaks on in. People are going to think he's a tie, and he goes on in knowing exactly how to win this game.
Wow, Nasir with the win over Ricard and Heather. So I got to get my top
It's
two.
a
I had
stacked
Sarah as my third place. Yeah, I mean that's not going to match here. The big drama is, am I going to take Jairus as my number one and just keep going with this, or am I going to take Tiffany? And surprise, surprise, actually, I'm going to take Tiffany. I'm going to put Tiffany at number one. I'm going to put Jairus at number two because even though he's been very vocal about listening to us, I also know Tiffany listens. So
Tiffany unsubscribe as a patron.
Yeah, get out of here, Tiffany. But I'm putting Tiffany at number one. My winner pick is still going to be Jairus, but I'm going to go Tiffany for this one just because I'll mix it up a little bit.
Makes a great point. Teachers do very well on Survivor as evidenced by teaching time with Tommy/Tiffany.
That's it. And I've been doing very bad at Bootlist games, so I'm just going to go ahead and take a chance, and I don't want to jinx Jairus.
I like that. We've put him up top like for literally everything. So why not put somebody else who's given us a little bit of money?
Yeah, there you go. So there you go. That's who I have.
Phil Tiffany, number one. On the fly. We'd love to see it.
Love to see it. I don't think I duplicated anybody, and neither should you, faithful
neither
patrons.
Should you. Submit in the Google form, which is in the description of this YouTube video. We'll also tweet it out consistently. You can submit your boot list and your prop bets up until the premiere. Please don't ask us the night of the premiere if you can submit it late because we're both going to be quite busy and you can't. So you have plenty of time now to not look at spoilers and just submit it. We are 1 week away from the Survivor 41 premiere. Can you believe it?
I literally can't. It's insane. We are 7 days away. And now that means it's the best time to become patreon.com/Survivor Specialist. Get in on our power rankings game, which will be starting up on right after that first episode. You'll be starting to send them. We're going to figure out a way to get them all sent so that we don't have to go searching for them. But get in so you can start doing that. That'll be a lot of fun. And we'll be throwing out some content here and there throughout this entire thing. Once I get my head back above water and actually start planning things ahead of time. Right, Alexa?
Absolutely. We love to see it. I knew you were busy because I joined earlier than you on the link. And I was like, oh, God.
Alexa texted me. I was like, I'll be there in 5 minutes. I was like, oh, crap. I'm supposed to start a podcast in 7 minutes. So anywho, we did it live. We did it well. And here we are with the Movie Buff Specialist logo in the top corner of the entire time.
God. I always forget to look for that.
There it is. We changed it to Survivor Specialist from Alexa. What's up? I love that. I love that. So I'm so happy I did that. I'm so happy I noticed that at the very end. Well, me and John will be back tonight. If you guys want to listen, Jaws and Hereditary, 2 horror movies, sort of, but that'll be fun. Alexa's a big Jaws person.
Yours is
Jaws.
Jaws. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never seen Jaws. I was not.
Yeah. Cause I think you said that you won't watch Jaws because you're from like the New England area and you just wouldn't swim ever again. So
yeah, exactly. Not even though I'm sure that's the fakest looking shark that's ever existed.
But. It really isn't. It looks good.
Yeah.
It does it actually looks really good, especially compared to newer ones. Like it's not CGI'd. It looks really good.
Oh, love that.
Yeah. Spoken from someone who's never seen the movie, clearly.
Yeah. I've seen the photos.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.